Hello, this is Peter Bell, and I've got something special to share with you today. Screenshots from all the Kintavar Exploration news releases going back over the last year to this first one, where they announced initial discovery of a new showing at the Mitchi. Continuous composites channel samples, surface work, the kind of stuff that gets people excited to some degree, especially when you're posting greater than 2% copper numbers. But people have concerns. You know, is it a local freak show? Is it something strange at surface that happened here that has no continuity or repeatedness anywhere else on your property? There's concerns. And particularly when you're talking about a sediment-hosted stratiform copper deposit in Quebec, you're going to have all kinds of other criticisms, people who may not believe you. So off that first release, you would have done well to call the company and try to talk to Kirill, the CEO. Because not long after, they came out with another major news release. Financing, hot on the heels of a discovery. Kudos to the company for using the existing shareholder exemption. Not used widely enough on Howe Street today. But they were obviously sitting on some important information here, as this geophysical study seems to correlate in some ways with some of the known copper showings. But it's early days. So you have to read the fine print and wonder what exactly is coming, what's been found so far, the size of it, scale of it, significance. Not easy to assess. But that's junior mining investment. Now, in November 2017, following news in October and September, more results. Some even higher grade copper mineralization at the Nasagon. And this is the area where I saw Alain Caillet do a trick with a rusty nail, where electroplating with a little hydrochloric acid just from some chalcocite-rich material at surface. Shocking stuff. This is a good quote from CEO Kirill Mugerman, and they're starting off 2018 aggressively as well. Junior mining companies are made to burn cash, and this company is engaging in important activities, right? You can see them starting to put some dimensions on some of their discoveries. And don't miss that 5% plus number. Everyone seems to wonder, oh, where's the high grade Kintavar? Well, it's out there. And it may be that this deposit imposes some big challenges. How to drill off and estimate a deposit that has high grade copper. It's something we hear about time and time again in the gold markets, but Kintavar may be an interesting example of that same issue at play with copper. As a stratiform copper in Quebec, there's a bunch of new questions that arise from its discovery, and the things that they are finding are important and setting a new model for deposits in Quebec. Some important geological sections and plan maps, but over very localized areas, largely at the Sherlock. It may not be enough to convince careful junior mining investors out there, which is kind of a contradiction in terms, but that's okay. Because, as you can see here, the company's been able to attract significant funding from large institutional players. And Caisse de Dépôt in Quebec is a significant, sophisticated investor who likes to see all of the things that the Kintavar team is talking about. This is a serious exploration team working on a serious project. Yep. Amazing to find those showings by the road. Dotted lines. And then it's May. And things are changing. Summer's right around the corner. And Kintavar is talking about raising $15 million. With that amount of financing, they could do serious work. Shout out stateside. At this point, things are moving pretty quick, and they're just getting started. Some of these clips are more important than others, and it would make sense to spend disproportionate amounts of time reading different ones if you really want to get a handle for what's going on. This video is just going to scroll through them all at 6 seconds apiece. And I will mention in passing, the Hispania corridor, pretty interesting. Don't know why, but there's something about that one that makes me curious for more. If you read the details in these releases, you find the types of things that you like to read about. Companies doing smart deals, working hard, talking about things in a sophisticated and clear way. They can be forgiven for not posting any news in July. Think about the seasonality of the news flow from Kintavar. We've only really got one full year's worth, but it's enough to get a sense, especially when combined with all the clear communication from the company regarding the scale of their summer activities. They've got a lot of work to report on, and they've got a lot of ground to work on. This is the area where we spent the morning of the site visit, or in the Sherlock corridor. And then this is where we spent the afternoon, in the Nasagon. 2 small showings on the side of the road, just stunning. Yep. See that 9% number? It's pretty special. And that's recent. So, I mentioned it before and I'll mention it again. There might be concerns around a high grade problem in resource definition for Kintavar at the Mitchi. We'll see. It's a good problem to have. There's always going to be something. And so far, it hasn't been logistics or financing or geology. So we'll see if it's market reaction or geological community acceptance of the results. Sometimes controversial new things like this, regardless of how rich they are, they can ruffle some feathers. And that's a good thing. We need that kind of excitement and contentiousness in the next wave of a mining bull market. Most recent news release here, August 30th. Important details on drilling, which, as I've described in other videos, remains ongoing. I believe there's a short seasonal shutdown for a hunting time period, and then they're back at it, and they're set to go year-round at the Mitchi. Wonderful. This is, of course, the Watson showing in the Sherlock, where I first set foot at site. Can't wait to show you full clips from those. Go Kintavar, go!